am a recording engineer. I'm a studio designer. I design and build loudspeakers of all varieties and sizes. I have a company called Oceanway Audio, and we manufacture high-end Atmos theater systems, but we also do high-end systems for artists and clients around the world. We built a theater called the Riviera, which is the home of the Santa Barbara Film Festival. And we think it's probably one of the best Atmos systems that's ever been installed in a theater, and I think Dolby agrees with us. And so the owners of the house wanted something that sounded like that in their home, at that level, where you could actually take the files from that theater, bring them here, play it, and it'd be identical. And that was the premise of what they wanted, and that's what I wanted to deliver. I wanted that level of performance. But I will say, this is even better than the Riviera. I designed the sound system, and then I worked with the acoustics folks who were doing the space, and we went back and forth and back and forth. There were a lot of meetings about all of the issues, even to the point of the metalwork on the sides were originally, it's quite intriguing aesthetically, but the original plan was they were deeper slots, so of course there would have been reflections between them. So we changed that to get performance, and we ended up with the aesthetic with no acoustical issues. And so a lot of things along that, and a lot of things about finding the exact placements and where we're going to do this. There's a lot of give and take to get the final result. The first of it, there were a lot of anomalies, a lot of problems, all sorts of things. And that's why, for me, you guys have taken it to a level that I didn't know was possible, to be honest with you. When we came in and set this room up, I would normally have taken 4 hours to align each speaker. But when we used your system to align it, and we set the single microphone in the sweet spot in the room, and it was a complex system because we had 24 surrounds, we had 14 subs, all on separate outputs, plus the LCRs, and we lined the entire system up in 7 minutes or 10 minutes. I didn't think that was physically possible. And also, because I hate to say this, I'm a sonic snob, I wasn't anticipating it to do what it did. The end result was remarkable, particularly in the low end when you have 14 subs ideally placed in the optimum positions to get the best performance in the space. But each one has a different level of performance as it relates to being in the sweet spot, where one might be 8 dB down at 30 hertz, one might be 5 dB up. And the Trinnov managed to match the delays and align all of them so we actually had flat bass response at 20 hertz in the sweet spot, but we had remarkably linear bass performance over the entire space. And so I could have worked that out manually, but I have to tell you, it would have taken me quite some time. I didn't change, I'm listening to the LC. Of course, in all fairness, they were lined up quite close to where they need to be before we even set the system up. But needless to say, I could find nothing that I didn't like. And I'm the first one to tell you if there's anything that was bothering me in the slightest. And we all just looked around and we just packed up and said, thank you very much. Even when we were first looking at the curves and some of the initial components and things like that, I did have a pretty good idea of what was going on. And so the thing is, because, once again, each of our channels are all matched, physically time aligned, so the components line up perfectly, they're all symmetrical. And the wavefronts like in the front system, the high frequency and mid bass sections have identical flare rates, they have identical dispersion, and they're identical physical time alignment. So, but the fact that your system will not only correct frequency response, but any sort of delay within the components, and that's part of the package. There's a lot of this stuff where it isn't even close to being time aligned, and the high frequency elements are sitting somewhere else, and this sitting on it, and that the Trinnov can line up all that stuff linearly, and that's can certainly even more helpful when the systems are less than 100% and there's problems. Not in the least, for me. For me, what it all comes down to is the end result. Okay, the process, I'm not saying it's irrelevant, but if it delivers what I need, and the other thing, as a manufacturer and as an installer, the amount of time savings, and of course also, it doesn't mean I can't go in and finesse it. Once we've put initial curve in, it brings us, we're 90% to where we need to be. I think I could make it sound just great individually, but there are certain things here, particularly like aligning all 14 subs, 14 positions and finding the ideal delays for each. I'll be honest with you, it would have taken me a long time. So, that was one of the most intriguing aspects, that we could line up all the 18s, line them all up so that it was really, and because I love low bass, I'm sitting here at the sweet spot and it's flat at 20 hertz. And that makes it fun. I think the Trinnov processor does everything I need on a functional level. I can't find anything about it that didn't make it easy to do what we wanted to do. There was nothing that stopped me from getting the end result I needed. That's the only I can say. And so for me, I can't think of another system at this moment in time that would make my life easier as a manufacturer, as an installer, and trying to get an end product that meets my standards. To be honest with you, I mean, after setting this place up, I can't imagine that I could go a different direction.